Hey everybody, welcome back to another tutorial with SnapVend. Today we are going to be taking a look at the process to print barcode labels for virtual vending machines. A virtual vending machine is typically used in a storeroom or a cabinet of sorts using either a computer that's already on site or using a tablet or some sort of device to access the internet to use the online application to manage inventory. When using a barcode reader, obviously we need barcodes. So what we're going to look at is how to export the planogram, how to manipulate that planogram into the correct format, and then how to import that into the Dymo label writing software. We have chosen to use the Dymo just because of its ease of use, its flexibility, and all the different options that we have with that. We tend to use the Dymo Lable Writer 450 or the 450 Turbo. I personally like the Turbo. It makes things a little bit faster, especially when you're looking at barcodes. Barcodes take a little bit longer to print than a standard label. So we're going to dive in and jump right to the steps. So first, obviously, we're going to need to log in to the software. I've already logged in to tool.vinnovation.com using my credentials, and what we're going to do is we're going to export a machine. However, we are not going to actually export a planogram. So the downfall to the planograms is we cannot export lockers. The reason I'm not going to use that when we're looking at virtual machines is just so that we have a consistent process as you create labels for your machines, lockers, and your virtual machines. So rather than coming to machines and managing machines and searching my machines, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to report. I'm going to go to inventory levels. So inventory levels is going to give us the same information as the planogram with the bin number, the part number, the refill point, all of that information, and even the on-hand quantities, but it will include every machine within an account, including a locker, a virtual machine, and a vending machine. So simply select inventory levels report, hit the drop down. We're going to look at this particular account and we're going to review the report. So it's going to give us the machine name and all that good stuff. So this is ATI locker number 4. And if I scroll down, it's going to dive into locker 1 to locker 2. All the different machines and lockers that are on site are on this one report. So what I'm going to do, simply export the report, and I'm going to choose CSV and export, and it's going to give me an Excel document in comma delimited. Simply open that up, and away we go with all the information. Puts it all into one spreadsheet. I'm going to open that up so I can see all the cells because we need to manipulate this quite a bit. So the first thing we want to do is verify, okay, yep, locker 4. We're going to scroll down. All the stuff is here. If I didn't want some of this information and all I wanted to do was safety locker 2, I can, highlight and delete all this stuff, but for today I'm just going to leave it as is. But what I am going to do is I'm going to eliminate some columns. So for a label, especially a barcode label, all we're going to need is the part number and the description. We don't necessarily need a bin number, where in a locker or a vending machine we would include that bin number. So in Excel, all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the header and I'm going to drag over these first several columns. So I've got 6 columns highlighted, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to delete because we don't need that information. All we need is the item number and the description. So all the data behind it, I'm also going to delete. Right here, the bin/bay, that is your bin location in a machine. You would want to keep that for a vending machine or a locker. But since we're not dealing with machine and locker, all we're dealing with is a virtual, we're going to delete those columns. So what we have is our item number and our description. Perfect. I'm also going to delete these top 3 rows, and I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Save As. Make sure it's in a location that you know where it's at. I like to save my stuff to my desktop, and about once a month I go through and I delete everything that I've downloaded or created, or I moved into the appropriate folder. So now I'm going to call this machine test label, just for lack of a better term. And I'm going to change the format now from CSV to XLS. So the default version of saving is going to be this XLSX. Dymo doesn't like that. So what we need to do is make sure we save it as an XLS, which is an older version of the Excel database. So we're going to choose that. It's on the desktop, machine test label, and we're going to go save. Perfect. Now we're going to go into the Dymo software. We've got a blank template here, so we can do whatever we need to do with it. So first, we're going to choose our address label, the 1 1/8 by 3.5, or a large address, whichever label that you decide you really want to use. We tend to use the 1 1/8 by 3.5 on lockers, and since we have a lot of those labels, we tend to use them a lot in the barcode labels for the virtual machine. So we're just going to click on this, and we're going to select an empty template, so there's no text boxes, no nothing. So I'm going to come up to insert, and the first thing I'm going to do is insert a text box, and I'm going to drag it so it fills up the label, and I'm just going to write text in it. I'm going to click off of it and go back to it so that I can format this the way I want it. So the first thing I like to do is I like to center it vertically and horizontally so that everything is nice and centered up. If you wanted to, you can make your text bold, you can underline it, you can do many different things, change the font of your label, because anything you do on this particular template is how your labels will print when you import them. So I'm going to go auto fit because I want my text as big as it can possibly be on the label. So now I need to insert a barcode. So I'm going to go back to insert, select barcode, and it just needs to be drugged down and resized so that it's not overlapping. And then for width, so that I have as much space as I can possibly go. So it defaults to this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't worry about that because we're going to import, and it's going to pull this information from whatever column we assign it. So we're going to double click on our barcode, and now we can choose the format of the barcode we want. So we're going to go, let's go code 128 for the symbology. We don't need to change this, and we're going to change the barcode to small, just so that we are able to see as much of the barcode as we can without overlapping the edges and not fitting. We're going to select none because we're going to have the part number already on the label, so we don't need it included in the barcode, and OK. So we are ready to import. So now we're going to go over to File. We're going to come down to Import and Print. We're going to go New. Now we need to go and browse for our template, and we've got machine test labels, which I had just created, and we're going to open it. It's going to populate. Simply hit next. So we've got our two different boxes. We remember the bottom one is the barcode, the top one is our text. So simply click. We're going to go description. We're going to click on here and delete this blue dot to get rid of the space. Hit enter. And now we're going to go part number, and again, delete because we don't want that space there. That space, not super crucial in this box. However, when we come to the barcode, it is imperative that you get rid of that blue dot. Here in the barcode, we want the part number. So we're going to click on field 1, and it auto-populates that space. We got to get rid of that space, otherwise your barcodes will not scan. So we can preview and go through all of the labels. Everything looks good. The barcodes are showing up. We're going to hit next. Again, gives us a preview, and it gives us the option to print specific labels, or we've got 134 labels here. We don't need this default one that says item description, so we can get rid of that. We've got 134 labels total. We're able to save this template if we want. If you don't want to save it, simply uncheck it and hit print. 133 labels will print and this is what they will look like. I'm not going to print them today because you can't see my printer, and I don't need these labels. But these are the steps on creating barcode labels for virtual vending machines. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, make a comment on the video. Email is mike@snapvend.com. Feel free to reach out. Have a great day.